Welcome back! As promised, we will share with you today 3 different wild ingredients for tea that we forage for here at Blah.net.
So stay tuned!
Alright, we start with one of our favorites. This is Birch Polypro tea, Piptoporus specialinus. It's like a shelf mushroom that grows only on birch trees, and it's very common. It's also an annual mushroom, so it can be harvested sustainably. It's not like some of the other mushrooms that will take many years for it to grow. Every year, lots and lots of it grows around here. So you can harvest it throughout the year. This is kind of the end of the season for them. They're changing color a little bit now and getting a little bit tougher. But we have harvested some before that we cut them up and dried them for tea. And we're now enjoying the beautiful Birch Polypro tea. So you can see the color. It's just amazing. And to get this color, I like to simmer the pieces for a long time. So I bring the water to boil with the mushroom pieces in it, and then I let it simmer for hours, sometimes overnight, maybe, so we drink it the next day. So it gets really nice and rich. People, you can see all over the internet, taste this, and then they're like, oh, it tastes horrible, it's so bitter, and stuff like that. And
It's good.
this one has been simmering for a long time, and of course it has a little bit of bitterness, but so does black tea, and so does coffee. Coffee is quite bitter, in my opinion. But many people enjoy drinking black coffee or tea like I do. So you can definitely sweeten it. You have a favorite way to
Well,
sweeten?
stevia, we use
there's a little bit
stevia
of
to
stevia.
sweeten.
Yeah.
Plus, I love the way Aras makes it, where he adds lots of fall spices, I guess fall spices, cloves and cardamom, cinnamon, and he puts the spices in to boil with the mushroom, and that makes it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I fill up a thermos, I usually fill it halfway, and then some water, and then just keep it with me all day while I work outside, and it's amazing. Just warms you up from the inside out and gives you that extra bounce.
Yeah. Now, of course, you can look up Birch Polypro has many medicinal benefits, but we really just have it because it's a really nice tea and we enjoy drinking it, and it makes us feel good.
Yeah.
Like, definitely notice,
And it's common around here.
Yeah, it's very common, so we can harvest it right here sustainably. So we really love the fact that it's so available to us, and we enjoy it so much, and we don't have to buy it online or order some specialty thing that's coming across the continent. It's right here in our backyard. We can just go and harvest it and then enjoy it.
Yeah.
So there it is, Birch Polypro.
So the next tea that we'll talk about is Western White Pine Needle Tea. So this one, uses the needles off of our Western White Pine, or Pinus monticola. Fairly common in the southern interior. It likes, a little bit wetter. You can find it on the island a little bit. But when she grows well. So yeah, and abundantly. And so white pine, it has a fairly particular crown shape, but I mean the most distinguishing feature are that white pine has 5 needles per fascicle, or 5 needles per bunch, and the needles are very soft. So unlike say a ponderosa pine or the lodgepole pine, which the needles are stiff, is very soft. And it has, not sure if you can see it in the video, but it has kind of white underneath as well. So it kind of has this lighter gray flashy colors. But yeah, again, 5 needles per fascicle. It's the only one in BC like that. So you pretty much can't go wrong. They also have, white pine gets big long cones. So this is a small cone because this tree is still young, but usually they can get, I had one that was probably like this big or even bigger the older they get.
A foot long.
Yeah, they're huge.
Yeah.
So they get long and they kind of get this curve to them. So those are white pine cones. But yeah, and to make the tea, also to mention, don't be sure that you know it's white pine, because there are other pines, say like ponderosa pine, that can actually have adverse effects if you drink the needle tea.
Or
So,
look alike.
yeah,
Pine,
exactly.
Not pine, but people might confuse.
Yeah. So you want to make sure that it's white pine tea, white pine needles that you're drinking, because you could get sick. So
with anything, you always want to
of
ID
course,
100% sure what
yes,
you're drinking.
definitely.
Yeah,
So
never risk.
don't just go out and drink pine tea of anything. So yeah, and so to make the tea, you can and when you're harvesting, again, don't take it all off one branch. You want to kind of scatter your harvest so you're not harming the tree in any way. So you know, a little bit off this, a little bit off that. Walk around the tree, go to different trees. So don't concentrate your harvest on one tree. Typically, it's best in the spring when the needles or the leaves are fresh and new, but we harvest year round and it's fine. Yeah, I don't find a difference in taste. When they're young, I like to eat the needles, but when they're older, it's best for tea. And so you just take the needles, and some people chop them up into smaller pieces. It depends how you're doing it. If I do it in my glass, I'll say chop a needle into 3 pieces, that kind of length. So chop a bunch, and the amount of needles depends on what flavor you like. So I like a really strong tea, so I'll probably a tablespoon or 2 tablespoons of needles per large cup of tea is what I would do. And you never want to boil these needles. So with the white pine needle tea, you want to boil your water first and have your needles in your cup, and then add that hot water to your needles, because it's very, very high in vitamin C. That's one of the great things about this tea. You can ruin that if you boil the leaves. So yeah, add the hot water to your leaves, drink it up. Really good. It's also high in vitamin A, so it's really great for your eyes, your skin, things like that. And for your red blood cells, it helps replenish your red blood cells. And people say it's high in antioxidants as well. So I don't know, yeah. But otherwise, really good tea to have in these colder winter months. Yeah. So, and it's found in the backyard abundantly.
Yeah,
and it's very sustainable to harvest if you do it properly. So yes, something to enjoy soon.
The last tea that we're going to talk about, the last ingredient, is the rose hips, and that's probably very common. Many of you are probably already using it, but again, we love it because it's all over the place here, and we can go for a walk anywhere and harvest some sustainably. Again, it grows every year, and yeah, they're pretty abundant here. And the best time to harvest them, they say it's after the first frost. But really, for us, the best time to harvest them is when you find it. Because like I'm always harvesting. I just see it, and then I want some, I'll just take some and put it in my pocket. And you know, they have this slightly different flavor throughout the season. I mean, of course, you want one that's nice and red. You don't want to get one that's green.
Yeah. But I mean, here we're also competing with turkeys and stuff. So
yeah,
we got lots of turkeys, and they
yeah.
So, but typically after the first frost, it has the most flavor, and it's the best time to harvest for tea or anything. So yeah, and when I worked in the bush, my favorite was in winter, say December, January, February. That's when I would go and snack on them in the bush, because they get so sweet, and they're so good, like a little frozen popsicle kind of thing. So yeah, really tasty just to eat.
And they stand out so nicely.
Yeah,
against the white
so
background.
red.
Yeah, so bright
exactly.
And red. But even though they're really bright and red, they don't have too much punch. Like they're not super flavorful. So you might be disappointed if you just put like 1 or 2 rose hips in a cup of tea. So usually you want to put like at least a 1/4 cup of rose hips for 1 cup of tea, and then you put hot water in it, and you can mash them a little bit and separate it, sift it. Some people go really get crazy about the little pores that are inside. We never have to. Did you find them?
I never even noticed. I just eat them.
We even eat them, the whole thing, and never had issues. People talk about all sorts of different problems, but I don't know, maybe we're just used to it.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, you definitely will have a much more enjoyable drink if you sift the whole thing after maybe using a little strainer or something.
And for a seasonal touch, you can always mix the beautiful red rose hips with the green pine needles in a tea mix with, say, cloves or stuff, and have a really nice Christmas tea. So yeah, that's a really nice idea if you want to feel like seasonal.
Teapot.
Exactly. Yeah, that'd look really pretty. So, and that'd be super high in vitamin C. So you'd be good to go.
All right, and now it's time for a little bit of farm update. It's been another good week.
Yeah, everything kind of went hunky-dory this week. We're settling into our winter routine. So today, actually, was it November 13th? Was the first day I actually fed the sheep a little bit of hay. So half their regular amount, but still put that hay out there for the first time. So that was kind of a step.
Which actually was pretty good. We didn't think we could stretch the season this far. So that was pretty nice.
Our calculations went to the end of October, really.
Yeah.
So got a couple extra weeks. We were lucky. And they're still out grazing. Like they still are grazing all day anyway, but just a little extra with the cold weather.
So we are getting a little bit more time now to spend with family and friends. We had some families come over today and we went for a little walk. And yeah, Nick found a bunch of beautiful oyster mushrooms, and I've never seen them around here, and I had walked that path, but because I was just never looking for them, I just walked right under them. And then this time I'm walking with him and he's like, Arrest, those are mushrooms, edible mushrooms right above that. Like, whoa. Yeah, so I was really happy with some beautiful big oyster mushrooms that we harvested, and so that was really exciting.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to frying those up tonight.
Yeah, that'll be so good. And yeah, again, a puppy update. They're big, they're bouncy. Then we made the little electric pen in the sheep pen. So this week we had to electric train the puppies. That was a really stressful time for me, hearing them scream. But you know, each one of them touched it once, and that's all it took. Actually, one of them didn't even touch it. They clued into the other ones touching it, and she's like, "No, I'm not going near that." So they have because we moved Mama out. So Mama's with the sheep working away from puppies because puppies are 10 weeks old now. So they now learned that their pen, they learned the electric fence. So now we'll wait another week, let them kind of get comfortable with that, and then we'll let them out with the sheep and the rest of everybody, and hopefully they'll be trained enough to not be wandering out the electric fence the sheep are in. So yeah, so that was a stressful week, but it was good. It had to be done. So stay tuned for next week. We have a very special group of people we're really excited about coming by tomorrow to do a millennia here and check out the animals and the land. And so yeah, stay tuned for that next week.
Yeah, we are really excited about that. We are hoping to work toward creating a really nice space for community members to come here, hold different events, and just be involved and participate.
Yes, and enjoy the beauty that is Blahadatne. Like just the beauty and the energy that's here is incredible. It's really healing. So the more people can come and appreciate it, the better, for sure.
Yes, please message us anytime if you want to come for visit.
Yes, sounds good. And thanks for joining
us. Thank you so much.
us.
Yeah, we'll see you all next week.
Bye.